Negative, okay, nothing further. Just TDK in the corner, check. 18 Sergeant of Patrol. 19 Sergeant, negative, okay, nothing further. Just TDK in the corner. Sergeant of Patrol. 19 Sergeant, check.
We've got a code 187.
Officers on the scene.
A 5-year-old girl goes missing, and the whole world stopped to find her. But as the investigation went on, things started to not add up. We soon find out that what happened is worse than what we thought. This is the story of Shaniya Angel Davis.
19 Sergeant of Patrol. 19 Sergeant, check. Negative, okay, nothing further. Just TDK in the corner, check. 19 Sergeant of Patrol. 19 Sergeant, negative, okay, nothing further. Just TDK in the corner. Sergeant of Patrol. 19 Sergeant, check.
We've got a code 187.
Hey guys, you are listening to Code 187. I was messing with audio, so I kind of stumbled there. But welcome to the show. My name is Joe, and I'm here with my friend.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Code 187 on YouTube.
Yes, and we are the people who just freak out about true crimes. Last week was a very good episode. We talked about Baby Andre. If you guys have not listened to that episode, go back, listen to it. Our episodes don't really click together, but go back and listen to them. You can kind of figure out our personality and how this show rolls. But it was a very good episode. Sarah blew my mind a little bit like she did the week before. She's got all these mysteries and things going on, and I'm just like, I can't process all this, but she brings good stories to the table.
Yeah. Well, today I'm gonna make you mad. This one is this is a range of emotions, but this one will make you so mad. So get ready for that.
Okay. All right. You know what? I like it when you tell me how the story's going to make me feel, because then I'm like, watch. I'm not going to get mad at this whole story. And then you're going to say some stuff, and I'm like, you're just going to see me get up and leave.
Yeah, for real. So this case isn't covered on podcasts a lot.
Gotcha.
Because it's so infuriating. It's has to do with a 5-year-old girl, which hit me so hard because I have a 5-year-old. And it's just researching this case. I was mad. I was sad. I wanted to just punch people. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this emotional roller coaster here, but we're going to do it.
Yep.
All right, let's hop right in.
Okay. Well, it is important. Even though it's gonna make you angry, it's important to share Angel's case. So,
yes.
Her name is Shaniya, but I'm gonna call her Angel because she went by that, and she's the sweetest little girl. So that's what I'm gonna call her. So we're gonna start out on November 10th, 2009.
Okay.
Antoinette Davis reported her 5-year-old daughter missing from their mobile home on Sleepy Hollow Drive in Fayetteville.
Yep.
So this is North Carolina.
Yeah, and you already know something's already going to happen. It's called, they're in Sleepy Hollow.
Mm-hmm. Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So at 6 a.m. that morning, Antoinette awoke to find that Angel was missing.
Mm-hmm.
She went outside to look for her, but she was nowhere to be found. At the time, Brenda Davis, which is Antoinette's sister, lived with them in the home. She had previously dated a man named Mario McNeil.
Okay.
That night that Angel went missing, Mario did cocaine and was drinking, and was texting Brenda late at night.
Mm-hmm.
He also knew where the key was to unlock the door to their mobile home. So the police quickly went on the search for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this dude who's cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find a woman to hook up with, and a little girl missing.
Mm-hmm.
So the police are like, oh, he did it 100%.
Yep, he's the perfect victim right there.
Yep. Okay, so in the meantime, Mario checked into a hotel in Sanford shortly after 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
He had a small girl with him that he explained was his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and he was dropping her off with the mother in town.
Mm-hmm.
Security video showed he had Angel and brought her to his room.
Mm-hmm.
The video footage is heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But he then left the hotel carrying Angel in his arms about 7:35 a.m. Now, I have seen the security footage. She was alive, but he was carrying her. A hotel employee saw him leave and thought something looked weird about it. The next day, the hotel employees recognized Angel in the Amber Alerts and contacted law enforcement. They reviewed the hotel tapes, and it was very clear.
Yep.
Cut and dry. Andre has her. Or not Andre. Was it Andre? What was his name?
Mario.
Mario. I'm mixing up my people. I'm sorry.
Now, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go for it.
But the way that I don't know if I'm getting this. I'm getting a vibe from the way you're telling it. It's like Mario is not the person.
We're gonna find out. Okay. Every time you ask me now, I'm going to be like, we're going to find out.
I'm just getting that vibe because it's like I'm watching you and you're telling this story and you're just like, this is it's cut and dry and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to sit back and listen. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, there is something amiss here. And I mean, we're like a couple minutes into the story and I'm like, okay, solved. That's not how it works. But yes, I mean, Mario looked like the guy. And I'm sure police were like, okay, this is 100%. So Mario was brought in, but he was not talking. So they interviewed the mother another 3 times. Each time her story changed.
Okay.
First, she said she had no idea what happened. Then she falsely accused her boyfriend. Then finally, the truth came out. She finally confessed that she willingly told Angel to go to the hotel with Mario. Antoinette owed Mario a debt. He wanted money or sex. So she gave him her 5-year-old daughter. Yeah.
I knew that was coming when you just. Why though? I mean, it's one of those things. Okay, listen. You're a grown woman. She should have just bit the bullet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I mean this girl, like you said, 5 years. I've got a 3-year-old, and it's like they have not experienced any life at all, and now this is happening to them. That is unacceptable.
Right. And it's from someone that she trusts. I mean, she trusts her mom to protect her. And her mom was like, oh, just take my daughter.
Yes.
This is where the just madness comes in. Because I just don't understand why she wouldn't do it or say, like, I don't have your money. I don't know what you're going to do.
What about her sister? It was the sister's boyfriend.
True.
And the sister lived there. So I don't know. I don't know. Did the police report did it not mention that they were also drunk and high on cocaine?
It did not. I'm sure with him owing her or her owing him a debt
Mm-hmm.
that it was probably drug related.
Yep.
But it doesn't say that they were abusing drugs, but they had to have been, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
even then I don't understand it, but
Well, and some people, like, so that is a decision that I think only someone under the influence would make, you know, because it's either you were under the influence, whether it be drugs or alcohol, or you're pretty messed up in the mind. But even in that, I don't think I've ever heard of. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that, even with killers, giving up their kids or something like that, just somebody messed up like that. So I don't know, man. Good Lord.
Yeah, and they say that drugs and alcohol brings out your real personality sometimes. I am sure that she was not the mother of the year.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Maybe she was what? She had her daughter, and she really didn't care about her or anything. And then so this was just a no-brainer for her. But again, she's 5 years old, hasn't experienced any life. And then Mario, a grown man, and him, we don't know, I don't know if the story talks about it, goes deeper into what happened, but
it does.
Yeah, him doing whatever he did, he should have made a decision about what to do and what not to do. So I'm going to let you finish telling the stories.
Make you even madder. So, yes, I mean, this does go a lot deeper. I wonder if this was the first time. I don't know that, but yeah. So she gave her 5-year-old daughter over to him to be raped, essentially. So do you want to take a guess at how much the debt was that she owed Mario? How much do you think her child is, I guess, worth to her?
Well, I bet you it's not a very high price. Let's do $200.
$200.
$200.
I can't believe you guessed that.
Well, I was listening to a bunch of murder mysteries today. Actually, I've been listening to a bunch of them, and one of my buddies was like, "Why are you listening to this?" I said, "That's homework."
Yeah.
But I was listening to one of that, and I'm going to touch right back to the story, but it was a guy, he's the highway I-5 strangler. And basically what he would do is he would lure a lot of prostitutes in, and then they were only charging like, $30 for sex, but then he would be like, "I'll give you $200, and then he would kill them afterwards." So that was what I was thinking. But then also too, my way of thinking is he was a guy who was on cocaine. She had to be on that. That's where we figure her debt came from. And so I bet you it was one of those things. That's, man, just that low price. Poor kid. My first kid cost $14,000 at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. I mean, jeez. I can't imagine doing that. Because then, yeah. I mean, as a parent, I mean, like we said earlier, kids could be a pain in the butt, but I love them little pains in the butt, Yeah. And, and especially just, you as a mom, me as a dad, it's like, you want to protect them from everything and everybody. I took my kids to the doctor's office to get a blood drawn, and they were screaming so bad. And I just wanted to protect them and beat up the doctors. So I just can't understand how she could even start thinking about giving her child away or making that an option. And then when she actually comes up with that option, $200. Can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, she could have had sex with him for
Yes.
2 times or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And where is her sister, the girlfriend of Mario? Where is she at? Like, I don't understand. I know, like, are we bad because we're just kind of making, you're a woman, but it's like these women are just objects. You got her and her, but I mean, I think, okay, I'm just going to categorize these two, not anybody listening. I'm not doing the whole broad of women, but these two were just objects in the case of this little girl.
Right.
Yeah, they should have taken the debt, no matter what it was, to protect the younger girl.
Exactly. And I don't consider this mother, like when someone does this, I'm like, you're nothing.
Yeah.
So $200. And I was like, what could I buy for $200? So I looked it up. You can buy a camera.
Okay.
You can buy a Kindle, cast iron cookware set. And this man bought sex with a 5-year-old for $200. That's the winners that we're talking about in this horrible case.
You know what? When was this?
2009.
Bet you could have probably, found somebody for $200. That wasn't a 5-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
And okay, so this is one of my things too. What I don't get about, because I listen to a lot of murder cases, and with murder, they talk about, because it's real life, it's true crimes, and there are these murderers who mess with kids, and it's just like, I don't get it, because kids aren't sexually active. Their bodies aren't ready for all that. So I don't really understand it, And this is what I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna say on this episode, just forget. It's all gonna sound crazy because I'm trying to wrap my brain around. But it's even one of those things where, okay, let me get my train of thought back. What is it? I just don't know why you don't want somebody who's prepared for that. So basically what I'm saying, don't mess with kids, mess with adults.
Right.
I just
mean,
don't understand
honestly, it's very good that you can't relate to this. It's very good that we're saying, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love, like, there's even, when I listen to a lot of these, it's like, I listen to, this guy killed this person and this person and this person. And there are times when they are messing with kids, I just want to turn it off or skip to the next episode because I can't deal with it because my mind can't comprehend that, I mean, little kids are gross.
Yeah.
They're gross. Yeah. Their bodies aren't ready for it. I know it's a form of dominance, but I just don't understand. I just don't understand it at all.
Yeah. And it's good that we don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying it like I want to understand.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, like psychologists that, work with people that have pedophilia, it's like they have to get in that brain of that person. And I can't put myself there.
No.
And, you said it like it's a dominance thing. It's sometimes a pain thing. These people, just lowest life forms, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
All three
yeah.
of them, even the sister, even though we don't know too much about her.
hmm
Good Lord.
Okay, so now we still have a problem. Angel is still missing.
Okay.
So Mario finally said that he thinks he left the girl's body along North Carolina 87 highway near some green portable toilets.
Hmm.
So that's what he thought of this child,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of paint a picture of how disgusting he is. He not only takes $200 debt in exchange for sex with this underage girl,
Mm-hmm.
very underage girl,
Yes.
but he then kills her. We don't know exactly how yet,
Mm-hmm.
um, and dumps her by some toilets. It's just, it's insane.
And the I'll ask that question later. Let me write that question down so I don't forget it. Yeah, I don't have any questions for this.
Okay,
I'm trying to
so
process
this
all
is
this.
why I was just, this case, I think the last couple of weeks have really affected me.
Uh-huh.
I don't get affected by a lot with true crime. Kid cases, I don't like them. I don't like hearing about them. It's sad. It's, disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like I wanted to tell Angel's story because she's probably not the only one that this happens to,
Mm-hmm.
that is sex trafficked in this way and that type of thing. So, all right, so Angel's body was found November 16th under a log in the woods. The autopsy found evidence that she had been sexually assaulted and
Mm-hmm.
smothered to death. Now, in that surveillance video,
Mm-hmm.
she was alive when
Yep.
they left, when they came in, when they left. Um, this is how terrible this is. He was carrying her,
Mm-hmm.
likely because she couldn't walk
Yes.
on her own,
Mm-hmm.
which when I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then when I read that, I was like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
this is just terrible.
So that means that it wasn't even. It wasn't even. It's brutal. It's what.
Yeah,
Yes.
very, very brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So these two monsters, the mom and Mario,
Mm-hmm.
go to jail.
Okay.
Angel's mother's defense was that he wasn't supposed to murder her. He was supposed to have sex with her, and that was it.
Oh, yeah. That's that's good. Yeah. You know. Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which to be that attorney,
Yeah.
to represent her.
To take that case, like
Yeah.
that's. Yeah, I'm gonna take this case, but I mean, what is it? So as a guy, it's one of those things where it's like, what is it? Once you fulfill your need, and it's not somebody you love, you usually don't want to have to do anything with that person. You know, you don't want to deal with that person at all. So let's not put ourselves in Mario's shoes, but let's think about the whole process. Mario did what he did, and then he has this, now he hates her, and she has done nothing wrong. So even though the mother might have said, oh, he wasn't supposed to do that, I don't know, man. She didn't get a lighter case, did she? Like, I mean, she didn't get like a lighter sentence or anything. Do we know that?
I believe so. I have it written down later.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
No, you're good.
But that being her defense, she also, I had said earlier that she told three different stories.
Uh-huh.
One of those stories was that she gave Angel to Mario to have sex with another man
Huh.
and not Mario. Now we don't know what is true,
Yeah.
really.
Mm-hmm.
But that leads me to believe that she probably did this before,
Yes.
that she had taken Angel and said, okay, here's my debt, or here, do this for money, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just crazy. Um, so Mario was sentenced to death
Mm-hmm.
in May 2013. I believe he is still on death row. Um, he had convictions of murder, kidnapping, human trafficking, sexual servitude, taking indecent liberties with a minor, and another sex offense of a child by an adult offender.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot that
Yes.
he went away for. And I go back and forth on the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, True crime, like part of me is like they should suffer in jail, and then part of me is like they deserve death.
Mm-hmm.
I think in this case he deserves death.
Yeah. I mean, just my dad. He's a very um, what is he? He's a very funny dude. But
Mm-hmm.
he was like anybody who commits a sexual crime like this should be castrated, and
Mm.
then let the people if in prison have their way with them, so they can know how it felt and stuff like that. And so that's his opinion with that. With death row, with this particular case, I stand with you. I think he does deserve death row. It's a baby, and
Mm.
you just don't do that to babies.
Right.
And
Back when they could have, or they would have castrated him,
yeah,
or firing squad, or hung him for people to
mm,
see, or whatever.
yeah, hmm anything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, because like like, and it's crazy how we're doing this. Because like somebody will get murdered, and then you and we can be like, oh, it wasn't that brutal of a murder, so he lives. And then with this case, it's just nope, no
Yeah.
choice. And I don't know why he's still on death row. Why? Is it just the trial? Is he trying to appeal and trying to find holes in the case? I just don't know.
So more than likely, there's a lot of killers that sit on death row for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, Sometimes it's because they want to appeal. I don't think he has a case to appeal.
Yeah.
I don't think a lawyer would take that case. Um, what America does is they will put somebody on death row and then try to like draw it out as long as they can.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many back and forth with the death penalty that I wonder if it's not they're trying to save face sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, this one I don't think anybody's going to blame the state
Yeah.
for taking his life.
Yeah.
But in other cases it's been back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so people do sit on death row for a very long time.
Yeah.
Serial killers are still on death row.
Oh yeah. I've actually heard some where they were like, oh yeah, this serial killer is still on death row, and it's like, well, what is he doing? Like, just make room for another person.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm
And
just
America
fool.
will, because they just keep on shipping them to jail.
Yeah, it's
Um,
ridiculous.
all right. So this was about Antoinette and her charges. So she was pregnant when she was arrested. Uh, right. Yeah. So she was pregnant. The child was put into foster care after.
Okay.
That's probably the moment where you would have left, huh?
And then baby was probably Mario was the one.
Probably was. In October 2013, she entered an Alford plea to second-degree murder, human trafficking, conspiracy kidnapping, sexual offense, sexual servitude, and taking indecent liberties with a minor. So she had a lot of the same charges, but she
Yep.
did the I can't say that word.
Alfred.
Alford plea.
Oh, Alfred. What's an Alfred plea?
Okay, so an Alford plea is when the person says, the state has enough on me
Mm-hmm.
to convict me, but I don't want to plead guilty.
Gotcha.
So taking the Alford plea says, like, okay, they have enough on me, but I just don't want to say I'm guilty,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty much a guilty sentence
Mm-hmm.
in the eyes of the law.
Yeah, so it doesn't do anything. So doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. So why would you? I don't know.
Yeah. So she is not officially acknowledging her guilt,
Mm-hmm.
but she has been sentenced to at least 17 and a half years, up to a maximum of 21 years and 9 months. And she is expected to be released in May 2027.
Well, I hope she
Yeah.
doesn't get released.
Right. So she had a pretty significantly lighter charge
Mm-hmm.
than Mario did.
Yeah. Well, the way I bet you they're looking at it is Mario performed the act. She was just the hand that fed Mario. So, because you've noticed that with murders where they might have an accomplice, and let's say the murder, there was one episode of Serial Killers I was listening to where his wife was driving the van. No, his girlfriend was driving the van, and he was assaulting a lady in the back. Now, when they got caught, his girlfriend got a lesser charge because she was just helping, and he got a worse charge because he was actually doing the act. So
Right.
I bet you that's how they're looking at it as is she helped out, but she didn't do the act herself. So
Right. Well, in my mind, I think if it never would have been for Antoinette, then Angel wouldn't have gone with this man.
Yep.
And I think of it that way. But at the same time, I mean, he had access to the house. He could have just went in and got her.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
So I don't understand what the whole ruse is then. I don't understand, like you said earlier, he has access to the house. Why didn't it happen there? Was she just didn't want it to happen there? I don't understand why you would have to go to a hotel. And this is where we point out some of the dumb things that murderers do. You don't go to a hotel with the security cameras. It's 2009. That'd be something I could understand if it was in the 80s or 70s or something, right? But it's 2009. They've got cameras and stuff like that. People notice all that. I mean, I'm glad. It's just that was just a dumb thing they did for them to get caught. And
This brings me back to thinking that she's done it before, given over her daughter to take to a hotel, or that maybe there was more than one person involved in this.
Yep.
I mean, one of her excuses was that she gave to Mario to give to someone else. Maybe there was more than one perpetrator, and they did something as well, and Mario's not going to snitch. Which could be.
Yeah, because it would. I think the story would make a little more sense if she gave Angel to Mario to give to another person, and then let's say that other person, it didn't work out, so then Mario took his time with it. But the reason why I say that makes sense because you would think that her sister would say something. That's her boyfriend. You know, she would say something like, "No, we're not going to do that," or anything. I don't know, man. This
It's interesting that you bring up the aunt so much, is because I didn't think about her, but she was in the house. Why didn't she get a charge? Because she obviously knew.
Yeah, and see, and that's what keeps getting me, is because she was there. She was there. So that's Mario's her boyfriend. Could have had sex with her. So there was two grown women in the house, and then she didn't and have any involvement with it stopping or going. Like, was she not involved with the dealings between her sister and Mario? Like, there's just like she is a. I mean, I got questions for her. Like, what were you doing? You know,
Right.
what was going on with you? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did want to bring up is I don't quite understand why he killed her. Because he got what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a way. Um, he never really said why he killed her. I don't know. I mean, and the mom knew
Mm-hmm.
that he had her. He could have just brought her back and went on with his life. And probably no one would ever know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the security cameras, but like the people thought that it was weird, but they didn't think like he was having sex with this little girl,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't quite understand his logic in that. Um, I wonder if Angel didn't fight back
Mm-hmm.
and something happened,
Yep.
which leads me to believe maybe he tried to rape her again at some point, and then she fought him because
Yep.
she was still alive.
Well, see, that's what I was getting ready to say. Maybe he tried to rape her again because she died of asphyxiation. So it was one of those things where maybe he. What did he do? Maybe he tried to rape her again, accidentally strangled her. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's why he dumped her by the dumpsters, because maybe was it Antoinette?
Yes,
Yeah, maybe
mom.
Antoinette didn't even know. He didn't want her to find out about it. Maybe it was that kind of deal. Because then I guess she would come after him, So, because maybe Antoinette was her pimp or whatever it's called, and maybe she was doing that with her daughter, and so maybe that was a source of money. And so now Mario is afraid that if he goes back and tells Antoinette this happened, she would get upset and stuff like that.
Right. So, also another thing that I wanted to really point out with this is um, the stigma
Mm.
that is in like the prostitution field, I guess,
Mm.
or the sex worker field. When we're talking about this case, a child cannot be a sex worker.
No.
They have not that ability.
Yes.
So it is rape. You can't say that they're not being sex trafficked. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Yes.
Sex trafficking is when an older person over the age of 18 um, is doing sex work and they're being taken over state lines, they're being taken to people to have sex with, so forth and so on. So this situation was in a way sex trafficking because the mom was saying, "You take my daughter to
Mm-hmm.
do this." But since she was a minor, that's just not possible. So everyone in this case is wrong.
Yep.
Um, when you're thinking about sex work, and my point of doing a lot of true crime stuff is to talk about things that are like this that people don't understand.
Yes.
And you might, and that's fine, but like some people just don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that some people that are sex workers can't help that they're in that situation.
Yep.
So, like, let's say that he did not kill Angel
Yeah.
and he brought her to someone else, who then brought her to someone else, who then brought her to someone else. She's raised up in sex trafficking. She knows nothing else. She
Mm-hmm.
has no money, no education. And the way that true crime talks about prostitution and sex work is in a very negative way.
Yeah.
And some people just don't have control over it.
Yep.
Sex work is illegal,
Mm-hmm.
but it is some people's job too.
Yep.
And no one deserves to be murdered, no matter who you are, what your job profession is.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when we're talking about a rape, sexual work thing. It's not sex work, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like when we're talking about an underage person, it's just, it doesn't make sense why he killed her, in my opinion. But
yes.
So there's my tangent. But
No.
but I wanted to say that because I am watching this Netflix show where they're talking about all of these prostitutes and they're talking about them like they're less than people.
Yes.
And it bugs me so bad because even if you think that sex work's not a profession and that they're prostitutes, they still don't deserve to be murdered.
Yep.
It's insane.
And that's one of the things I hear all the time. Like, if a prostitute talks to a police officer, they say, well, we're not going to worry about you. Look what you do. You cannot be a reliable source. Or they don't look in the cases because, what happened? A prostitute was killed, or there's a drug dealer that was killed. We don't care about them. Those are the bad guys. The less of them off the street, the better for us. Is the way they look at it. So, and I think a lot of people don't really understand that is that like the one I was talking to you about, the I-5 strangler, they mentioned briefly about the prostitute, she just didn't have a home. She couldn't make ends meet, and that's how she did her job. And the murderer took advantage of that, and luckily she got away. So, yeah, we hear about that all the time in true crime, and that is the exact example of how it always is on there. So,
right.
Yes.
And it's important. It's important to note because, like you said, police officers, there's definitely a stigma. They will say, well, why were you alone in a hotel room with some strange man? And it's like, oh, that's my job. And then it's illegal. And so then they can bring charges of prostitution. So they don't care.
Yep.
But it bugs me because no person deserves to lose their life. Yeah, and this case is heavy.
Yes.
I know we're lighthearted. We're a lighthearted thing, but this one is, man.
This one here, I was like I said earlier, I always think, nope, not gonna make me mad. I'm tough. And then you're sitting here, I'm just like, can't believe it. I can't believe it. And God, it is crazy, the people that are in the world, and it's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they both haven't been killed in prison.
That's another thing. That's like, okay. Let's think. Was it I think it was Jeffrey Dahmer. He ate people and murdered people. He was killed in prison. I'm trying to make sure I got my serial killers because there's so many famous ones in my head. So he was killed in prison. But I
think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. But then you got Mario, who had sex with a little girl 5 years old, is still living. They have to have him. He has to be held in like solitary or something. Yeah. Maximum. Yeah, he's got to be in something like that because I don't think he would last long. You could be the worst prisoner in the world, rob banks, kill people, but you only kill adults. You're gonna come after this dude, man.
Right.
I don't know, man.
So, any other thoughts
that
you have?
This one was heavy, and I think that both of them should be in jail for a long time. I think Mario should get the death penalty tomorrow, and I think that Antoinette should stay in prison for the rest of her life. Because, we don't know if she's even been reformed. What if she goes back out here and starts doing this stuff again? You know,
I mean, she's having more babies, so
yeah, she's having more babies, and it was easy money for her. And it's very hard to kick a lifestyle. Like, if you get into a lifestyle, it's very hard for you to kick it. You know, I mean, we've heard about serial killers who they stopped killing for years, and then all of a sudden they get that urge again, and bam, they're back. So, yeah. So that's
So I will put the National Child Abuse Hotline number under this case.
yes.
There had to have been a little bit of a pattern with this case. I mean, this girl was 5. She could have been in school. She could have not. We don't know. But
Yep.
if you see child abuse, say something because it can lead to this. You don't know what people are going to do. So.
Yep. Is there a way we could do the sex trafficking number down there too? So we
Absolutely.
can have both of those on there too. So yeah, I mean, even in FedEx, we have to take a test every day. Oh, I don't think you guys know that. On my other show, my fans know that. But on the Joe Show, people know I work for FedEx. So I work for FedEx, and we have to do these driving tests on our little iPads every single day. It's mainly about driving and stuff. But for the past month, it has been about sex trafficking. And how since we're out everywhere, we have to be vigilant of what's going on and stuff like that. So it is very important that you watch out for stuff like that and just make sure, see something, say something, is what you should do. Because it's very important because, like Sarah said, every single life is valuable and you should not, especially little babies, man.
Yeah. And also, if you're being sex trafficked and you want to get out or you think you can safely do so, there is resources. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That is the very scary, infuriating, maddening case of Little Angel.
We will see you guys later, and thank you for listening to Code 187. We'll see you later.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like any of the content for Code 187, please click that subscribe button, that like button, that share button. Help us out, help us grow. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. Yeah, check us out on there. Give us some ratings. Tell us what you think. We're also across every social media on Code 187. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it. And of course, YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe if you like our content and spread the word. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.